What's up guys, it's LumosTheromax here bringing you another banger video, and this time I actually have one of my fellow coffee shop content creators with me. Kua's hanging out. Go ahead and pop off, Kua.
Hey, what's up guys? It's your boy Kua, Reality Spine, whatever you want to call me. Subscribe to the channel, and for today's video, today's collab, we will be doing Kobe STARRO versus Atrocitus.
Yeah, sometimes I can't help but bring up his name as Kua, dude. I've known him as Kua forever since he's an OG homie of mine, so sometimes I forget his YouTube name is actually Reality Spine. But please take some time, man, go subscribe to the guy. He makes some pretty awesome content, and I'm actually going to be featured on his channel here real soon, so I'm pretty pumped on that. What else you got, bro?
Alright, so can I head off into that breakdown?
Yeah, let's do it, dude.
Alright, let's get set up with Kobe.
So who is Kobe?
So Kobe, for who you guys don't know yet, Kobe is an intergalactic conqueror, almost kind of like a Genghis Khan figure for the galaxy and the universe as a whole. And Kobe at first started off on a quiet little planet named Hattore, and I guess he was a Hattorian or whatever. But him and his race were a race of minor telepaths who could all species-wide mind link with each other. But then one day, a STARRO invasion came to his planet and took over. Of course, at first, STARRO's mind hacks is insane. But with each member of his species dying, all of that psychic energy just pulled into the next member of their species until it finally broke him free. Now, the mother STARRO, in a last attempt of trying to kill Kobe, flung on Kobe and attached to his chest. But instead of Kobe going under the mother STARRO's influence, Kobe took over the mother STARRO. And after that point, he almost kind of had a psychic control over STARRO's from that point on. And he started conquering galaxies.
Jeez.
And his ultimate goal was to, conquer the universe as STARRO the Conqueror. But to make the distinction, he technically isn't STARRO, but at the same time, you can kind of consider him STARRO. But yeah, he's in control of himself. So yeah, that's his origin.
Dang.
Yeah. Any questions right there?
Nah, dude, these guys sound wacky as hell. Yeah.
Yeah. So to get into a little quick synopsis, I guess, of his scaling. Now, when it comes to Kobe's scaling, it's defined, but it's also kind of a little bit general at the same time. Like, there aren't very clear limits to where Kobe's power rests, but we do know where Kobe scales above. Now, go check out that Kobe video if you want a full breakdown. But the way I broke it down
Link in the description.
Link in the description. Is I broke it down with the characters that he's met and the characters that he's beaten, which they have interacted with. It's kind of that like stacking scaling, like she beat him, so he beats her. You get the idea, guys. So to start us off, in the very beginning of Kobe's scaling, you see Kobe has generals. Now, over the span of the run that it's on, it's established that these generals are at least on like that Justice League tier level, and especially his main general, his top guy, Smite. Smite has been shown to match other Superman level characters and even beyond. Like, for example, Lobo or Despero, both in their own rights. Both of them in their own rights give the league some trouble. So like that. Also, he has also faced off against Despero directly. One shot him, just like one shot, like chop his head off with the axe. it was a really badass moment in the run. He has shown to go up against Black Lanterns. Now that was probably one of my favorite parts of the scaling. Not only because it does a tie into the Blackest Night event, but it also, it's a lantern thing as well. And you know how hard lanterns go when it comes to scaling. Um, I kind of forgot Lumos. Where do like Black Lanterns scale? They even make them once.
So, like, classic Black Lanterns can roll up on Justice League members and be threatening. Obviously, unless they don't have, like, metahuman powers beforehand, they're not going to be as dangerous. But essentially, you're just making anybody a lantern. Even characters who had little to no powers were capable of just killing metahumans. Just, like, literally pulling a... within a Ron car and just like shoving their hand straight through their fucking chest, bro. They go straight for the heart every time too. So him throwing hands with some Black Lanterns is wildly impressive, especially since like it wasn't just like raw force that could take him down with the Black Lanterns.
Yeah, that was scaling wise, that was probably his top some of his top scaling in that run. There's much more to go down, like high ends for the characters that he's faced, or high ends for the characters that he scales above. For example, Lobo, he has crazy high ends. But
yeah, just so we're on the same page, bro. Man, I don't know. He's slugging around Lobo. I saw a few of those scans you posted, bro. He's like literally like manhandling Lobo. He's just like beating him up, which is really insane in my eyes. Cause like Lobo walks into lantern teams at times, and I'm not gonna say he beats all of them, but he beats the shit out of them and has to run away whenever they team up. But individually, to most lanterns, he's going to be able to defeat them.
Oh yeah, it's insane. Those Black Lanterns, kind of hopping back onto that, those Black Lanterns that he faced, were actually all of them. It first started off with 2 Black Lanterns. Those 2 specific Black Lanterns. One of them was Harbinger. I think she was like a character from like the original Crisis.
Oh shit! Okay, yeah, that's a big boy. All right, Harbinger, I'm pretty sure was the name.
Yeah, it's like a.
So they were metahumans.
Yeah, so like we have Harbinger, and then a member of the original Legion, which by the way Lobo was a part of. Harbinger and Stealth, both of them were turned into Black Lanterns, and then they're in space. They just cut through like these yellow lanterns. Like they didn't even know what to do. They looked like scared. Like, oh damn, she's tore out everyone's hearts. And then those 2 Black Lanterns ran through his entire high vanguard, which, by the way, I said, all of them should at least be Justice League tier, if not on par with Superman. Then all of them come back down to the planet of Maltus, and they all just start ganging up on Cobi. Like, I think the panel stood for about 3 days, like non-stop fighting, and like they couldn't even lay a scratch on him. Like Cobi was just like, it shows like panels of him like literally just ripping their arms off and stuff. Like, come get me! I have the power of 9 galaxies. It was so cool. But he couldn't put them down, more for the fact that the only way to fully put down Black Lanterns, to my understanding, is to emotionally overload them.
Yeah, you have to have at least 2 specific emotions in most cases, unless you will have like a wildly pure form of an emotion. Like Sinestro was shown to just absolutely decimate a few. Larfleeze was, Atrocitus was. Like you had to be really in connection with an emotion in order to just do it by yourself.
Yeah, but so he couldn't fully put them down, only for the fact that he doesn't really have lantern powers. But physically, he was bullying these metahuman like Justice League, Superman tier characters who are now amped by Black Lantern rings, and he was just like taking them on no problem. And anything else? He does scale above League Busters like Lobo or Despero. He scales above the original Pro, that came to Earth and initially just like fodderized the Justice League. Um, anything else? No.
I have a question for you. So at the beginning of this, you said his telepathy was wild. Like, it was so powerful he could overcome Starro. Is that something he actively utilizes in combat?
I don't think he can like. He hasn't shown like he projected out like a mind wave like Martian Manhunter would. But I would say he does it more. He could do it more through his probes. Like if he lashed the probe onto your face.
Ooh, so he also throws probes and shit at you, like little starfish, right?
Yeah. Like I in one of the scans that he was fighting the Black Lanterns. He didn't know that they couldn't be psychically controlled, but he just threw a starfish on her face. And of course, she like ripped it off because but it literally took her whole face with it. Eventually, the only thing that kept Despero, actually, yeah, he also uses it in combat. Now I remember the scan. When all of Legion, Despero, and Tribulus, this other alien in the run who actually one-shot Supergirl, there's these supposedly rogue Starro probes that these aliens genetically engineered to not be a part of his his army under his control. He literally just took control of them back again and just like mind slaved everyone like all in one shot.
So like his psychics are kind of limited to utilizing those starfish now, right?
Yeah, like I don't think he can really like project it out like a beam.
Okay.
He hasn't shown that. But
Yeah, he's not pulling a Jean Grey anytime soon, huh?
possibly for the fact that Starro has shown to done that, but I think those are in like later runs when Starro has evolved more.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's a pretty banger breakdown, bro. You got anything else?
We'll probably be getting into it when it comes to the matchup, but Despero, on the note of mental powers, Despero tried to touch his mind, and he described it as at first looking at a puddle, but realizing that it had no bottom. Like, Despero was totally just like... And Despero, by the way, he is one of the best psychics in the verse. To my knowledge, I know he beats on Martian Manhunter, and Martian Manhunter and Aquaman both teamed up on him, and he just like took them out.
Just ragdolled him, huh?
When Despero pulled off on Cobi, he was like he was slack-jawed, like
yo, fuck this shit.
like literally the last panel before his head was chopped off, he was like, oh shit. And then he got fucking dang. Yeah, he got folded. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Cobi.
Alright, so I tell you what, I'll cover some Atrocitus action. So, to give you guys an idea of Atrocitus just in general, Atrocitus is essentially a dude who watched everyone he ever knew die in Space Sector 66, in the massacre of Space Sector 666. The Manhunter robots murdered everyone there due to an alleged faulty program, which was really Krona. And he was super pissed at that. And he was one of the only survivors to actually make it through that. One of 5, as a matter of fact. He became one of the 5 inversions, who are some of the most powerful blood mages across the entire universe. So much so they could both evade and counter anything the Guardians of the Universe threw at them, until Sinestro and Abin Sur, wildly powerful Green Lanterns at the time, managed to take them in and imprison them and keep them imprisoned on Yzmalt, which is kind of his operating base. And Atrocitus, ever since then, got super salty. He wound up breaking out, doing a bunch of shit, but coming back, murdering all his buddies, the 5 inversions, and then making the central power battery out of it for the Red Lantern Corps, and then put on his Red Lantern ring, The Red Lantern ring obviously gives you a variety of different abilities, including basically no longer needing any form of sustenance or anything along those lines other than satiating yourself with your own rage. Atrocitus has quite literally had his heart torn out, and it didn't bother him whatsoever because the Red Lantern ring replaces their heart. And they have wildly capable regenerative capabilities, as well as extremely powerful emotional connections whenever it comes to their attacks, such as their red napalm-like liquid that they can emit from their mouths, as well as cover on their hands. And Atrocitus, out of all the Red Lanterns, is by far the most powerful. And something else to consider is it's not just his normal Red Lantern abilities you have to worry about. It's also, he still has his blood magics that he can use. So if he gets your blood or blood in general, he can cast prophecies as well as see weaknesses in other opponents and read their minds, as a matter of fact. Atrocitus himself is a wildly capable fighter who can take on entire superhero teams such as Nightwatch whenever he rolled up on them. If you don't know about Nightwatch, Nightwatch is a crew of dudes who protect Earth from within the bleed. Atrocitus's napalm throw up tore its way through the bleed. He went onto that ship and then beat the hell out of everyone there. Nightwatch members include, well, what the hell is his name? Let's see. We have Martian Manhunter on that list. We have, oh, help me out, boys. I'm trying to, what is their names? Knights. Oh man, I cannot remember. Brain farting so hard.
What's Midnighter on that?
Midnighter, yeah, Midnighter. And what's the sun guy? I can't remember his name. Apollo, yeah, he's got like Midnighter, Apollo on there, Martian Manhunter, and a few others. They had already beaten up experienced Red Lanterns, but when Atrocitus showed up, he literally beat the hell out of all of them. Martian Manhunter tried to infect his brain with psychic hacks and literally harmed himself in doing so. And so he's definitely capable of just like team busting. He walked out of that situation fine too, which is like the really scary thing. Atrocitus consistently just absolutely rips apart Lanterns who are not exclusively named pretty casually. He can throw hands consistently with Sinestro and Hal Jordan, including capturing Hal Jordan at one point in time with a Red Lantern ring, which overcame his will. And that's something very important to consider because Hal Jordan has an immense willpower. And he's even thrown hands with Red Lantern Supergirl, which is wildly impressive considering everything Supergirl has accomplished in her time, despite the fact of also having a Red Lantern ring, which in my opinion makes her very scary. In terms of speed, keeps up with top-tier Green Lanterns such as Hal Jordan, who can contend with gods of speed in combat, and can passively cause rage throughout an entire planet and infect people's minds with it. He can also trap other opponents, like I said earlier, with Red Lantern rings, scaling up to at least harming the Spectre. And he can create entire emotional entities with enough rage if he captures enough. So that'll be my general roll down of everything Atrocitus.
Dang, yo, that's super cool. I wish Kobe had a lot more like tie-in other than that run, so like, you know, I could be like gods of speed and stuff.
Well, keep in mind, your character is keeping up with somebody who can do these things as well. I just happen to have the contextual knowledge to kind of pop off on that, right? So your character keeps up with Lobo and is tagging Lobo pretty well. So Lobo keeps up with Hal Jordan. There's a really interesting moment in time, and actually I posted it in your server recently, where Lobo rolls up on Sinestro, Carol Ferris, Hal Jordan, and Atrocitus. And Atrocitus is actually the one who called them to that situation. It called Lobo into that situation. So you could say Atrocitus wasn't trying to while out too hard, but that doesn't excuse Hal Jordan from getting his ass like slapped around that whole fight. Like pretty hardcore. Carol Ferris as well, and he did manage to get some pretty solid blows in on Sinestro as well. So I wouldn't say that like your character's too far off by any means, especially with reinforcements from Despero having been a character who can like thrash around the whole league by himself. So I don't think it's unbelievable to say he's like too far off by any means. But that being said, at the end of the day, if we see these two titans step up to one another and they just want to beef, bro, there's no outside bullshit. There's like no outside bullshit. There's no extra things interrupting. If they just slap each other, what do you think happens?
Oh, I think when it comes to physicality, um, I think Kobe can really give Atrocitus the word. I think he can break his jaw. Um, on those lantern hacks, especially with the red. I think especially with lantern hacks, I think that would give Kobe some very hard trouble trying to get in to actually hit Atrocitus. At the same time, I don't take Atrocitus to be the one like fights kind of like hyper strategy. I mean, I think
no, he just gets angry and wants to roll up on you and kill you until he can't defeat you. Then he might consider a plan, but like he might roll into a situation is a little bit rough for him with somebody like Kobe. I think that he can roll into teams and beat him up and stuff, but I don't see Atrocitus like rolling up physically, of course, just in terms of raw strength and like beating up Lobo, especially since we saw like knockoff New 52 Lobo like literally kill the Red Lantern Corps, the Atrocitus included, and it was kind of a bait, so you can say maybe it wasn't legit, but I mean, either way you look at it, he just was like murdering everyone there. So I think physically, I'd be fine giving like Kobe the edge on that. But in terms of hacks, see, I thought that he would be like a super hacks machine in the mental department. And the fact that he doesn't have like crazy hacks in the mental department is pretty rough in my opinion. Because physically he definitely bolos. But do you think he could tank that red napalm liquid that he spews out?
That's kind of hard to say. But if we're taking just like like napalm scales to AP, I guess, right?
Yeah, his napalm scales to his rage for sure.
And I would probably say he could probably take it if it scales to his AP, then he could probably take it. Nothing to really suggest that he's susceptible to specific like energies. Cause he's taken like plenty like energy blasts to the face. I mean, granted, most of those characters were like kind of lower tier, but he's taking like energy blasts to the face and like not even flinch. Now I think when it comes to like mind hacks, if he gets a starfish on his face, what do you think will happen?
I don't think he's gonna be able to starfish him. Like even if he does manage to get the starfish on him, he just like throws up napalm vomit on it, and that might work. Like if the starfish, I'm not even sure if the starfish got on him, it would work because, dude, he laughed off Martian Manhunter trying to like enter his mind too. So like it's not too outside of the realm to say like he's really difficult to mentally control, to say the least. Lanterns and emotions in general seem to be a very strong mental defense in my eyes.
I'd agree. I think there is a small. I think there's like a small little corner where you could say that mind hacks, at least Kobe's mind hacks could work, but there's just not a lot of backing up feats to really place him at that.
Yeah, I wish we could have seen him more actively utilize that telepathic power on people. Obviously, he has really good defenses because he was like holding off Despero's mental attacks and stuff. But in terms of like offensive weaponry, I guess that's a little bit tough. So I tell you what, here's how I would see this battle. I think that if Atrocitus rolls in super fucking hard and he plays it like an idiot, this could be problematic for Atrocitus. He might just take a heavy swing from that axe and just be in a real bad position. I don't think it would put him down, but it would put him in a really rough position at that point in time. He's going to have to bait some time to recover. Now, he either doesn't make it out of that situation, or he recovers and starts thinking tactically and realizes he's going to start resorting to his hacks rather than just like brutal strength, like raw physical strength. I think if he relies on those hacks, he's going to pull a W. But will he recognize that in time, I think is the question.
I think if in any place where he would win, I think it would have to really I think it would have to heavily involve his hacks. Not saying that Atrocitus couldn't like so come out the gate swinging and put any damage in on Kobe, but when it comes to kind of like the brute strength department, like Kobe is like nuts. So like his general smite scales on par with Lobo. Lobo, I think we can confidently say most times is above Superman.
If not comparable, yeah.
If not comparable, and then Smite, and actually a gang of these monks, these superhuman monks. That's just what they call them. All all relative to Smite. Like they were fighting for about like 12 years. Like they're in a standstill. Kobe came in and he one-shot them all, like easily one-shot them all. So I think if Kobe gets his hands on Atrocitus, and especially I think with Kobe's character, like he just doesn't mess around. Like he's there, like he just comes in and conquers. I think if he really gets his hands on Atrocitus like can't slip out. Then in my opinion, I just think it's really done for Atrocitus right there. And if,
I think I think that the first few moments of that shit would be really defining. And yeah, I honestly I feel either way about it. I'll just let that be my standpoint. So you say that you believe that he would not one shot him, but at least be able to deal with him before he recovers. I think he'd be able to recover and potentially hold him off with hacks. But I tell you what, guys, we both are very clear on how we feel. Why don't you guys tell us how you feel below? Tell us what you think of the matchup, and why don't you guys recommend another matchup for us? Because honestly, this was a super fun doing some characters that A, not a lot of people cover, but B, honestly, a really obscure character I hadn't even heard of until Kua popped off on it the other day. So it was really awesome having you, bro. What you got to plug?
Yet again, plugs to my channel in the description below. Go check out Reality Spine. Watch up, read up on Kobe.
Check that Kobe vid.
The power of the Star Conqueror. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh wait, I got one more. I've gonna be setting up a Patreon, guys. So check that out.
Hell yeah.
So if you want to support me, throw in that cash. Yeah, you could find my PayPal or Cash App on my Kobe video, so go check it out.
Hell yeah, dude. I appreciate it, and I'll see you down the road. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Later, Lanterns.